Welcome, everybody. You're on Artist on Record starring ADIKA Live. And tonight we have a great guest. We have Ted Nugent with his new record, Detroit Muscle. You can pre-order that now. Links are in the description down below. Also, make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe if it's your first time here.
I first ejaculated the truth, logic, and common sense of the love song Come and Take It. It's a historical colloquialism when the tyrant punk dictator thugs of Mexico were trying to take over Texas. The Texans sought independence, and they thought they would write down constitutional self-evident truths and that we're blessed by God, not by Santa Anna, not by a king, not by an emperor. Kings and emperors and despots and punks can kiss my free ass. So I've always had that attitude, which happens to be a beautiful attitude. I can hardly stand myself. I'm almost like Mother Teresa with a Glock. My point is that when I listen to these lying punks in our government claiming, well, all we need is common sense, gun safety reform, common sense, gun safety reform, common sense, gun safety reform, until you read the actual language and it's about confiscating the citizens' guns. So I wrote a love song to Joe Biden and to Beto O'Rourke when they said, we're going to, instead of lying, say common sense, gun safety reform. They were lying. They're all liars. They finally came out and they couldn't take it any longer. We're going to come and take your guns. We're coming to get them. I went, yeah, well, start with me, asshole. Here's my address and here's my love song called Come and Take It. And I'm going to deliver it to you on a suppository with a ramrod and have Mike Tyson take a giant pole and shove it up your ass sideways. You want to take my guns? Come and start with me, you fucking pricks. And it's a love song. Do you feel the love? Can you feel that? Can you handle that much love?
I feel the love. I love the love. I love the attitude. I love the riff of the song. Everything. It's great. It's fucking fantastic.
You know, dude, and you have to admit, Stephan, even though it's a political fuck you masterpiece song, no matter what the lyrics or the message might be, it's just a great piece of rockin' music.
It's rock and roll. It's fucking rock and roll. And rock and roll is supposed to let you show your attitude, show your expressions. That's what it's all about.
I would think so, you know.
But they try to change it around these days. Like, you're not allowed to be.
Isn't that something? What a sad state of affairs in America with this horrible, horrible human being that weaseled his way into the White House, that is just destroying everything. $7 a gallon for diesel.
Is that crazy?
For the trucks that are bringing us our food and our medicine and our supplies. This government here, I'll say this, even everybody says, you shouldn't say that, Ted. Well, anything you say I shouldn't say, I'm going to say more often. And here's what I say. And the evidence is irrefutable. And if anybody wants to debate me on this, Stephan and I will accompany you, and you can debate me on anything you want live on Stephan's Rock and Roll podcast, because here's the truth. Breaks my heart. I just spent this morning with a couple of Vietnam vets. Uncle Sam is the enemy of America. Our government is the enemy of America. They are orchestrating the invasion of our country through the southern border. Our government, the U.S. government, is importing fentanyl and meth, killing Americans by the hundreds of thousands. That's not the cartels. That's not gangs. That's the U.S. government orchestrating the invasion of America, Stephan. If that's not treason, what would be treason? So instead of energy independence, we want to be dependent on Russian energy? If that's not treason, what would be treason, Stephan? And I dare anybody watching right now, I dare you to debate me on this and explain how I'm missing something, that it's not really an invasion into our stuff. And it's really not these shutting down of energy independence so we can be dependent on communist oil. Debate me on that. And I'll hand you your family tree and spit toxic sawdust in your face, because anybody that tries to take the devil's advocacy stance in a debate against me, I put the spotlight on their devil's advocacy, because I'm right and my critics are fucking wrong. Period.
I mean, now people can't even trust the. I'll get you crazy now. I don't mean to raise the blood pressure here, but you know,
I was born like this.
But you can't trust the media. You can't. You don't know where to even watch your news anymore. Back in my day, I'll say there was a couple of channels in Brooklyn. You'd have like 7 channels, 8 channels, 13 channels with the PBS and all that. You watch Eyewitness News.
Virtually untrustworthy.
You can't trust anything now. Right? Everybody has a news channel. Who do you believe, Ted? What do people need? What's the answer for people watching this?
I'm in the middle of this stuff because do I play some killer guitar licks? Well, you betcha. Do I create some unbelievable animal breeding soundtracks? Well, you betcha. Am I bragging? Well, you betcha. I couldn't be more proud of my music. Okay, so I'm the Motor City Madman guitar slammer. Okay, awesome. I think welders are more important, but I happen to write the soundtrack for really good welders. My point being, before guitar playing and a celebrity, which is a joke, or a star, which is even a bigger joke, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a job creator. I create a product that tens of millions of people like and desire and inspire me to continue making this wonderful product. But more important than that, Stefan, I'm a husband and a father and a neighbor and an American and a free man. And I don't rely on Fox or CNN. I rely on CNN. I do rely on CNN because whatever they say, I rely that it's just the opposite of what they say. Everybody knows that masks don't work. Everybody knows that Fauci is a lying, treasonous, communist son of a bitch. Everybody knows that Barack Obama is the biggest racist that ever infested the White House. He always commented color of skin, not content of character. Joe Biden's even worse. And Black Lives Matter is not about Black lives. And Antifa are actually the fascists. And on January 6th, the people who caused the violence and the destruction were the FBI fucking I. Well, that's quite an assumption, Ted, except for the footage and except for this. Agents that told me that. And I don't rely on anybody giving me the update on Zelensky or Ukraine or Putin and Russia. You know who I talk to? People in Ukraine, commandos in Ukraine, citizens in Ukraine. Here's the horror. And this is why my music is so vital, because we need to escape treachery. And right now, the United States government, virtually untrustworthy. The media, virtually untrustworthy. Academia, virtually untrustworthy. Are there some good teachers out there? Yeah, a few. My daughter's one of them. Big tech, virtually untrustworthy. Fact checkers, fuck you. Hollywood, virtually untrustworthy sex trafficking monsters. So you have to know people who are actually in the eye of the storm, who you've developed trust with. And believe me, I can't say it publicly, but I have the best human beings on the planet, the most trustworthy heroes, warriors that are on the ground in Ukraine. When they tell me A, B, and C, I trust them because I can hear the bombs going off in the background.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Innocent. I saw New York Post. I saw a headline popped up and a baby supposedly from their thing, she was shot from drunken rush, and soldiers quoted from the headline. And having a 6-year-old daughter, you having kids, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I'm getting right now. I just got chills saying that. I don't even know what to say, Ted.
Way before anger, and more powerful than anger, which is righteous anger. We should be angry when our government lies to us and tries to force us to have a permit to eat or to leave or to go to a church. You could keep titty bars open and keep the drugs flowing through our border, but you can't go to church. Remember that? Remember when they were doing that right in New York and New Jersey and California and Illinois and Maryland and Massachusetts and Michigan? My beloved state of Michigan has turned into a toxic suburb of San Francisco. But the greatest people in the world still live in California and Illinois and Michigan and New York and New Jersey and Maryland and Massachusetts and Connecticut and Rhode Island. They still live there, but the evil tyrant motherfuckers are controlling their lives and trouncing their freedoms. My point being is that way more powerful than our righteous indignation is the tears of blood, the heartbreak that our own government can't be trusted. I almost cried this morning. I have these Ted Nugent military coins that I made up to give to the heroes of the military. I keep a pocket full of them everywhere I go, and they become very popular. People can go to tednugent.com, and this is a challenge coin that whenever I see a cop or a military hero, I give them a challenge coin, because there's the independent primal scream boy right there with his spear. And I handed it to him, and I shake their hand, and I grasp their hand. He had Vietnam veteran and a bunch of patches. This man's heart was shattered because he was lied to about Vietnam, and he dragged 58,000 brave Americans, dead bodies off the battlefield. For what? For what? LBJ, what a prick. Nixon, what a prick. Kennedy, he was trying not to be a prick, so they killed him. Now, a lot of people go, well, I'm not into politics. Then move to fucking Cuba, where you're not allowed to be into politics, because heroes died for your freedom, and you have a duty, an obligation to vote for that freedom, and we haven't done so. I give you this piece of shit in the White House.
And
so if you're not into politics, then get comfortably numb and be in the liability column. I'm Ted Nugent. I'm in the asset column. I'm a hellraiser. I'm Davy Crockett on the wall of the fucking Alamo, but I don't load my gun through the front. I got an A-10 Warthog, and I'm going to kill all these evil motherfuckers. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Yeah, and as you carry those coins, you're shaking their hand, handing them the coin. They're still fighting the war in their mind. They're living till the last day they die.
When I see them across the way, in town with Shemaine at a restaurant, or the feed mill. I go to the feed mill and the hardware store. I love feed mills and hardware stores. The greatest people in the world are at feed mills and hardware stores.
It's relaxing.
And we talk tractors and backstraps and stuff and ballistics. And when I see them, I can tell a guy in my age, even though a lot of them are younger than I am, but they got the beard, and you can tell they're a little crippled up. They got a cane or got a leg brace, maybe in a wheelchair. And I always stop what I'm doing, and I go over there and I take my coin and I shake their hand and I tell them, thank you. All of us know that freedom ain't free, and we appreciate your sacrifice. And we're really sorry that your commander in chief is the enemy. And then they start talking. And all you have to know is that when a Marine or an airman or a Navy or a U.S. Army hero or the National Guard or the Coast Guard, I hang out with these guys every day, that their commander in chief is the enemy of their country. That's their words, Stefan. Those aren't, I'm just repeating what the heroes tell me, because I'm a cocky son of a bitch, but I'm not cocky to think I know more about freedom than a guy who had to drag his buddy off the field providing it for me. So yeah, I'm a political guy because this is an experiment in self-government, and I'm not sitting it out. I'm not on the sidelines. I'm engaged, which is why I think my music has a lot of force, which is why Jimi Hendrix played the national anthem at Woodstock. So I'm not alone here.
No.
Ricky Medlock of Leonard Skinner, he's a motherfucker. He stands up for freedom. There's a bunch of guys out there that still do. I get calls from guys, I'm not going to mention their names, A-list monster rock and roll hero celebrities that thank me every day for saying things that they're not allowed to. And I go, well, who told you can't say? Well, my manager, I made $80 million last year. And if I start speaking out, I might piss off my consumers. Well, you pussy. Yeah, I've lost so much money, but who gives a shit? I'm a happy man. I'm a full American dreamer making music 55 years later with the greatest band in the world, celebrating it with a guy who loves music like you. And there's a whole bunch of people watching right now that still celebrate it. And I know there's a bunch of people going, Nugent's like a right-wing maniac, wants to kill everybody. No, I don't. I just want to kill evil people. I think that's good. You Pearl Harbor me, I Nagasaki you. That's how you get peace, through superior firepower. Case fucking closed. That's why my music is so much fun.
You mentioned Pearl Harbor. You mentioned, when I went traveling, even when I went to visit Pearl Harbor, I'm standing over there and thinking these people died for our country, and it touches your heart. And this is years later, and you're like, wow, this is in the 40s. This happened right here where I'm standing in this spot. And you know what, Ted? It's still happening again. Nothing has changed. It's just people got way more evil. What's the right word I'm looking for? But you understand what I'm saying? It's just, you think it would have gotten better. And Ted? No.
It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. But let me leave you with this. A lot of people go, what can we do? What can we do? And I'm going to tell you what we can do. In 2016, we created an organization called HunterNation.org. HunterNation.org. Well, I'm not a hunter. It's not about hunting. It's about conservative families who believe in God, family, country, law and order, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, unlimited opportunities for a free American. If you believe in those foundational values that people are jeopardizing their lives to get here, we don't suck. We're not systemic racists. We're a good country. We're the best country in the world. Blacks and Hispanics and minorities have the best opportunities in the history of mankind right here in the United States of America. The people that hate freedom are lying to people, and some people are so stupid they're believing the lies. HunterNation.org. We're going after the worst curse in mankind. It's not Marxism. It's not communism. It's not just the Democrats. It's not liberalism. The worst curse, Stefan, apathy. The same people go, I'm not into politics. Then you're not even really an American, because this is the only experiment in self-government with a constitution based on God-given individual rights and freedoms. How dare you not earn that? And so we galvanize people. We don't mention candidates' names because we're a 501c3 nonprofit. But we found out how many conservatives are just shit kickers, just working hard, playing hard shit kickers that don't vote. Then they complain, well, hey, we can't have a gun here in New York because you allowed a person in who take your guns away. HunterNation.org is a charity, basically, a civil rights organization charity that is just begging, plotting, probing, inspiring, cajoling, scolding people. If you believe in individual freedoms, you gotta vote for people who support what you believe in. So HunterNation.org is boots on the ground in all 50 states, and we won't mention a candidate's name, but if you think that a man can take away all the athletic world records from women, then I don't have to mention which candidate is horrible. If you think a man can start competing against women athletes and destroy all their world records, then you are the ultimate piece of shit. And just one example. If you think that unarmed and helpless is a good idea somewhere, when in fact that every time the most innocent lives that are slaughtered are in the Democrat Party's dream, it's called a gun-free zone. And the most innocent lives are always slaughtered in gun-free zones. And these monsters want more of them. Where you have the most armed citizens, you have a dramatic reduction in violent crime. Like I said to Pierce Morgan, you got to choose one. You want gun-free zones where the most innocent lives are slaughtered, or do you want the safest streets? Because if you take away guns from citizens and then release violent criminals, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? And I'm just a guitar player, and I figured that all by myself. See, I never went to college. I was too busy learning shit.
But you know what, Ted? I know you're busy, and I'll let you go because we went past the time. But really quick, I got to say something. Not just a guitar player, man. You're a guy that the music, it's in your soul, it's in your blood. And even a song like Stranglehold, it goes, people listening to this while they're fighting for how about your music just being there on the fields, the battlefields?
It's so inspiring. That's why I got to tell you, the best people in the world, Stefan, and this is what really drives my critics crazy because it's so irrefutable. The best people in the world love me. I hear from them every day. I get invited into families' lives where their young sons and daughters are facing imminent death from a terminal illness, and they call me to take them on their last hunt or their last fishing trip before these little boys and girls die. Boy, I must be okay to be invited into a family's life during that heartbreaking, traumatic, difficult, emotional time. My point being is that those people who know me love me. Just nasty people, really nasty, dishonest fact checkers. People who think that men should be able to take away world records from women. Those people hate me. I couldn't be more proud. Exciting, because I hope this tour happens, even though the trucks and buses are going to pay $7-8 a gallon. Can you believe that? I don't know what the hell is going to happen, but it doesn't look pretty. My hope, though, remains positive, because Jason Hartless and Greg Smith put their heart and soul into every song, every lick, every night. And on April 29th, Clusterfuck 22, we're headlining the Panama City, Florida Beach Bash. And the next night, on April 30th, Kid Rock is headlining. You think somebody might be making a political statement by hiring Ted Nugent and Kid Rock? So in Panama City on the 29th, Jason and Greg and I will unleash the beast, all these great, great songs, just a fire-breathing night of fun and positive piss and vinegar. And that same day, on April 29th, the Detroit Muscle record will be released. And I couldn't be happier with it. What Michael Lutz and Tim and Andy Padlin and Greg and Jason put into this record, it's so much fun. You're going to just love it. In fact, we should talk ASAP when you hear the whole record, because when you hear Born in the Motor City, when you hear Leave the Lights On, a song that happened after my beloved brother John died, there's a song called Winter, Spring, Summer, Fall that is an instrumental that is so beautiful, so intense, like hibernation and migration and earth tones and homebound and free flight, all these instrumentals throughout my career. So I'm very proud of the record. It'll be out April 29th. And you can also get autograph. In fact, I came down here right at the last minute. I was signing thousands of CD covers for Detroit Muscle, putting my signature on them, because on May 2nd, I'm doing some Talk Shop Live podcast. And we're going to somehow, I don't know what the system is, but we're making autographed copies of Detroit Muscle available. And then hopefully the tour will kick off in June, and I'll be the happiest motherfucker on planet Earth. And Stefan, I can't thank you enough. I can tell you sincerely love the music. I can tell you sincerely want to know where it comes from, and nothing is off the table. Nothing is sacred. We can talk about anything. And I'd love to hear your take when you hear the whole record, because these songs are so fucking cool and they're so much fun. And the bass tone and the drum tone, what Greg does, there's a song called Driving Blind where Greg goes off on this outrageous bass playing tangent, like Bob Babbitt meets James Jamerson meets Greg Garema meets Earl Elliott from Mitch Ryan, and meets Stefan. But as a bass player, what you witness Greg Smith do on his Fender bass is just unbelievable.
For the people out there watching, he's such a great, the guy plays everything. He played with Billy Joel even. He's incredible. He's incredible.
And my guys can do anything. And on Detroit Muscle, we go off. We got a jazz song. We got a bluesy grunt and grinding song. We have a song called Feedback Grind Fire that is just like every punk band in the world wishes they could do a Little Richard impression like I did. My point is, we're very proud of the record. I thank you from the bottom of my greasy barbecue Detroit heart for celebrating Detroit Muscle, because there is a thing that is Detroit Muscle, and I know that you love that music.
Ted Nugent out now. We'll check. All links will be down below. We'll keep an eye out for his tour. Fingers crossed, and support it. The hats, everything you do, your Facebook Lives, I see that. The hats that you sign hand by hand, they're out. You can buy them now on his website. Those are great.
Yeah,
I got to order one now. Now I'm going to order one.
They're so cool. It lets your freedom soar on the wings of an eagle. That's what I think.
Wonderful.
All right, Stefan, God bless you, man.
God bless you.
Give your wife a big hug for me. I love you, buddy.
I will love you too, Ted. Thank you for your time and your patience with me. I love you, man. Much love.
Try shutting me up if we talk about the things I love.
If you want to see more of this episode, unedited, uncut, check us out on Patreon for the unedited episode of Ted Nugent. Until then, everybody, we will see you Saturday night, all here on Honest on Record, starring ADIKA Live. Until then, who loves you, baby? We do. Mwah. What are you doing here? Just click on the box right here for some other great episodes. Now get out of here, you crazy kids.